I have a prepared statement, and the title of the statement is How to Keep the Lights On and Avoid the Dangers of Hazardous EMF. I am a longtime resident of the city of Pittsburgh, so why do I care what happens in Waukee? I care about this design because I do not want to see a bad precedent set in Waukee that could impact the design in the pending ATC Pittsburgh project. My primary concern is the EMF health hazard of high voltage lines. The health hazard is of paramount importance. I believe that electricity in all of its various forms is a pollutant just like toxic chemicals. EMF is odorless and invisible, but it no doubt has harmful biological effects. Let's review some links between EMF and cancer. The pineal gland, located up here in the center of your head, produces a hormone called melatonin. I repeat, melatonin. M-E-L-A-T-O-N-I-N. Melatonin controls a number of bodily processes and plays an important role in preventing or inhibiting tumors. If melatonin is lowered in the body, various cancers may proliferate. Doctors report decreased levels of melatonin in their cancer patients. Decreased melatonin levels have been implicated so far in breast cancer, prostate cancer, melanoma, and ovarian malignancies. Studies have linked melatonin reduction to increased mammary cancer in animals, increased proliferation of cancer cells, and impaired immune function. Melatonin has natural anti-cancer characteristics. Melatonin is a known inhibitor of tumor growth. Melatonin has been used in chemotherapy to fight the disease. Experiments have shown that magnetic field exposures lower melatonin hormone production and interfere with its ability to inhibit tumor growth. Childhood is a time of extensive cell growth, so there is a serious concern regarding children's exposure to EMFs. Researchers Nancy Wertheimer and Ed Leeper, after several years of field study in the Denver, Colorado area, discovered that the 60 hertz magnetic field in strengths of only 3 milligauss was responsible for a 2 to 3-fold increase in childhood cancers, particularly leukemia and brain tumors. And back in 1985, researcher Pierce found an excess of leukemia in New Zealand men with high EMF occupational exposures. In 1988, Spears also found that electric substation employees had a 13 times greater incidence of brain tumors than expected. That is a 1,300% increase. In 1989, Savitz and Lomas found that electrical workers died of malignant brain tumors at a 50% greater rate than men in other occupations. So, how do I recommend that ATC keeps the lights on and avoid the dangers of hazardous EMF? I think it's simple. I hereby remind ATC engineers to practice what you preach at your routine open house programs. I quote ATC, "At a distance of 300 feet, magnetic fields are similar to typical background levels found in most homes." My own informal studies since last June 2006 seems to agree with this 300-foot distance. Therefore, it seems to me that the engineers at ATC and the PSC have a moral responsibility to locate the high voltage wires at least 300 feet from the outside wall of all homes and commercial buildings with regular full-time employees. All ATC design engineers and PSC plan review engineers with a Wisconsin professional engineer's license must adhere to state statutes, the Wisconsin Administrative Code, and local codes, and ordinances in all their rendered services. The Wisconsin Administrative Code, Chapter AE4, requires the design professional to maintain the highest standards of integrity and competence in their respective occupation. If a 300-foot separation between the high voltage wire and the house is the standard EMF exposure limit as indicated in the ATC brochure, then the design engineers need to comply with this standard. In all due respect to the 3 Ds, the dose of voltage and current in amps, the duration of time of exposure, and the distance from the EMF source, the design professional must respect human rights, including the human rights of our most vulnerable population, our precious children. In conclusion, our use of electricity need not occur at the expense of health. Most of my information has been extracted from the Ellen Sugarman book, 3rd edition, dated 2004. And for all those thoughtful citizens here today that are appearing against ATC, I'd like to read from Ellen Sugarman's book, famous quote in the foreword of the book. It's short and something for you to think seriously about. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And that was stated by Margaret Mead. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.